Economics and politics are the foundation of human development.
While forming the world's earliest civilizations, Africans also laid the groundwork for the creation of economic systems.
By learning from our history, we gain the strength to empower the present and design the future. Presenting the premier forum for truth, culture, and change. HAPI Talks. Join us as we unlock the secrets to our success.
Peace, peace.
Peace, family, peace. Peace up in here. Nice to see you, Hassan, again.
Yeah, I just came out this storm.
I know.
It's getting hard over here.
Yeah, we got to check in. Anybody that's over in the East Coast, well, no, actually, isn't the storm like everywhere? It's in the South too, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, of course, some places getting hit harder than others.
Yeah. So wherever you at, just go ahead and hit us with your what's the degrees like right now for your wherever you at. I don't know, our guest Dr. Paige, she's in DC, so we'll check in with her and see how cold it is in DC and what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's like 16 right now in New York, something like that. But with the wind chill factor, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm in Detroit actually this time around.
And, it's 20. It's 20 degrees. Feel like 6.
Okay, well that ain't bad. That ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad.
Well, okay, so it's 15 degrees here.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, the snow is sort of tapering down. I guess is this 8 below if it's the wind chill factor? I think this is how it feels like. But it with the snow makes it a little like warmer. Oh wow, 34 degrees in Houston, Texas.
Everybody getting hit with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Houston, I know Houston is looking around like, okay, what's going on?
Well, look, happy family. Got another special guest that's going to answer some questions for us. We're going to get to the bottom of things when it comes to DNA, when it comes to testing. I know it's a lot of questions that people have. I know there's a lot of misunderstanding going on when it comes to the DNA testing. So, we had a straight up professional pioneer that's going to come on and, enlighten us. But first, make sure you do the regular, you share, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. That's a must. That's a must. Notifications is a must.
Mm-hmm.
You go to our happyfilm.com.
Right there.
You showing off, okay?
Because when you need the hoodie. See, this is why. And listen, we don't even have a lot of sizes left in the hoodie, but this nice little, HAPI hoodie is keeping me warm up in the D. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
hit the website up. We got some hoodies, some t-shirts, some hats. You get it right. It's a clearance sale going on. Also subscribe to our HAPI newsletter, because that HAPI newsletter is very, very important, because we have a lot of things coming up. I don't know if y'all saw last week, we had a Black History trivia, and we had a winner. I forgot the brother's name that won.
Jason,
yeah.
Yep.
He won our HAPI gift box. Tell him about the gift box.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get into the gift box right before we, but let me just flash it right here so everybody can remember. Right here, the HAPI gift box. I tell you, it has lots of nice little treats up in here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jason was the first one, and that's all because he was on live. And do you know we were still getting emails
afterwards
later, like 2 days later.
Yeah.
We didn't already announce who won, but everyone's still,
Yeah, I can't blame them. They gave it a shot.
Yep.
Give it a shot.
Yep. Also, family, make sure you are subscribed to all of our channels. We're on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So make sure you guys are all locked in. And then let's go. I'm going to just hit that newsletter to say one more thing about the newsletter. So, family, it comes out once a month, and we have a bunch of really nice articles about our health, articles about our money, history. Dr. Karenga gives us an article every month, and, for this newsletter. And also, fam, we also have people advertising, in the newsletter. And we also have just like offerings from the community. Sometimes people send us poems, things that they're just working on. And we also, always post those as well. As long as they're in line with our HAPI views, then we don't mind posting it in the HAPI newsletter. So fam, if you want to advertise, make sure you get at us, or when it comes to your inbox, because we can see everyone who actually opens this. Okay. So then we need for you to open it. Open a newsletter. I got a lot of good things up in there.
Nice.
Yep. And then our HAPI movie, the HAPI film, from Crops to Stocks. It is on Tubi, Amazon Prime, and Quayle TV. So if you haven't seen the HAPI documentary, make sure you check that out.
For sure.
Yep.
All right, so we good? We ready to bring on our guests?
Yes, and you know what? When we bring on our guests, we're going to ask her about one of the places we're going to, because family, we are going. We have a trip planned. That was the last thing we had to talk about. Our trip. We are hitting three spaces right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Ghana, Togo, and
Egypt.
This is going to be, listen, fam, this is going to be a nice trip. It's nicely priced. We hitting 3 countries. Okay. All you have to do is go to HAPI Tours. And I'm telling you now, we've had a lot of, initially when we do a trip, we sort of take a bulk, we take a nice amount of seats initially. But then once those seats go back, we go back to the airport. We're like, to the airlines, we're like, hey, we need more seats. And so sometimes that when we go back, that price is a little higher. So if you want to get in on this one, if I were you, just put in your deposit. It's $300 and you can get started. Okay. This is going to be, and it's all inclusive. The only thing this trip doesn't include are your drinks, is your beverages, everything else. Your flight from, we leave out of Newark and we fly into Togo. And then from Togo, we do Ghana. Then from Ghana, we do Egypt. And then we come back into JFK. So it is a very nice trip, and everything, hotel stays, meals, all that stuff is included. So.
Yeah. And I just want to really focus on the price. The price is a very good price for going to 3 countries in Africa. Very, very good price. I'm not saying it's a very good price for everyone, because I'm not in everyone's pockets, but I will say it's a very good price for the 3 countries that you're going to and what you're going to get along with those 3 countries. All right.
Yeah. And and the thing about it's you don't even have to believe us on the pricing. Just go ahead and check out everybody else. I was looking at people prices. I was like, wow, okay. So ours is real nicely priced. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. With that being said, let's bring on our very special HAPI guest tonight, Dr. Gina Paige.
Hey, Dr. Paige.
Hello.
Peace. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm good. I've been inside all day.
Okay. Good for you. You didn't have to hassle out there.
Yeah, it's a mess out there. You all were talking about it. Detroit, you guys are used to this, but
yeah,
it's kind of a big deal when the buses stop running.
Yeah, definitely.
The streets aren't all clear yet because it's still coming down, and makes it crazy. So but I'm good. Thank God I'm inside. I have power.
That's good.
I'm safe. Everyone I know is safe. So
yeah,
that's a blessing.
Yeah, I remember when I used to live in DC, and when I first, this was this is the 1900s, and literally when I tell you, it like a little snowdrop came off, like you said, everything was shut down. They shut the schools. I was just like looking around, because I was fresh from Detroit, and I was like, what's going on? So
this is extra. This is
this is different right here.
It's bitter cold again. Not relative to Detroit. I was in Ann Arbor for 2 years, so I understand, and Chicago for 4 years. So it's not, not
Yeah.
relative, but for DC,
Yes.
it's super cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not cold in here with you guys.
Yes, yes, yes,
What's up?
definitely.
And you look nice. Your whole little ensemble. I was telling you that backstage. It looks nice. You have the little plant. It looks a little summery over there. So
I, I'm
like,
looking at you like, dang, I should have had my hoodie on.
I have the heater. It's a heater right here, right here. Because there's just no way I'll be frozen by the end of this little talk.
Yeah. So look, let me give a little backstory to how me and Dr. Page met. I don't even know if you even know this, Felicia, or not. But I was at a men's wellness celebration in Brooklyn, and I kept walking past Dr. Page, and I'm like, man, she looks so familiar. She looked familiar, but I'm just thinking, everybody in Brooklyn know each other, right? Well, we seen each other at one point in time, so I'm like, she looked familiar. She looked familiar. Then I think I saw your banner, something you had that said African Ancestry. So I was like, oh, okay. Now the thing is, I went to Kemet with Tony Browder in 2021, and while I was out there, there were a few people that ironically, well, I got married out there, right? But my whole family wasn't there to be a part of it. So that was a little, depressing at times, but, nevertheless, I still enjoyed myself to the fullest, got married and all that. So, but there was specific people that reminded me of different family members. So it was almost like, it was like their aura, something in their face. So it was almost like they were actually with us. And there was one lady there that was like a spitting image of my oldest aunt. And this lady just, she was just so kind to us. She was super kind to my kids and always smiling and, just adorable. And, I took some pictures with her and I'll never forget her, right? So they announced on the bus that she was the mother of Dr. Gina Paige, who is the founder of African Ancestry. So that was 2021. Now 2025, that was last year. Yeah, 2025. I see Dr. Page and I walk up to her and I tell her who I am, and I went to Kemet with your mother and showed her a picture. We're hugging in the picture, and we just we kicked it off there, and we spoke for like about a good 20 minutes.
Wow.
And I called my mother, didn't I?
Yes, yes.
FaceTime my
You
mother.
FaceTimed your mother. Yes, yes. And it just all came together because I hadn't spoken to her since then. And I didn't have a number. I was always wanting to know how she was doing. Actually, another brother that went with us, he asked me a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a picture that he took with her. He asked me, has anyone seen this lady right here? And then I told him, I gave him the story. And I said, she was doing well. So, your mother and father really they laid a good impression.
Wow.
On our whole stay. Yeah, definitely. Yes, we appreciate your moms.
Yeah, you just never know. That's why you have to treat people right.
Yes.
Because you just never know
Yes.
who
Yes.
knows you, who knows your people, whose people you know.
Yep. Yep. And then I text Dr. Page and asked her if she would, be willing to come on the show and, kick it with us. And she said yes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you know what? So this is a good way to segue into my first question. I know because you were talking about her parents.
Yes.
How did you get into even doing this? Like how was this? Yeah, just tell us your story.
Well, back in I guess it was '02. My cousin, who is a professor of psychology at Howard University, was working.
HU? Okay, sorry.
She was working with geneticist Dr. Rick Kittles, and she was researching the psychological impact of his research on African lineages and people of African descent finding out where they're from. And she introduced us because she knew that he wanted to commercialize his research. And so that's how I got started. It was really just, you know, networking
Yeah.
and being in the right place at the right time. I was working doing strategic marketing, and my background is in product management. So I've worked for Sara Lee Bakery, I've worked for Colgate Palmolive Company, launching new products and managing product lines. So I knew how to do that. And he had a product that he
Mm,
wanted to commercialize. So we came together and partnered, and I commercialized his research. So I really came to it from a business perspective. I didn't come to it from the science perspective. I didn't even really come to it from the psychological
mm,
perspective. I saw an opportunity to do something that has never been done before,
Mm.
using the skills and talents that my parents and I had invested in, for the group of people that I'm passionate about, which is Black people.
Mm.
So that's how I got
right.
here.
So when y'all first started African Ancestry, I'm sure it wasn't as detailed and as informative now. So what kind of result, as far as like the results are concerned?
No, it's always been the same. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
we came out the box as the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people around the
Mm,
world. And when we
okay.
started, there was two other companies in the marketplace, neither of which are still in the marketplace, but
Mhm,
none of them could tell a Black person anything more than that your maternal line is African or your paternal line is African. But
mhm,
what we brought to the industry was the ability to identify a present day African country and ethnic group for maternal and paternal lineages. So the only thing that has changed is the way we deliver results, of course, has improved, and the number of samples in our database has increased, but the product itself is still the same.
okay. So so can you give us like I guess like in a simple terms, like how does the whole DNA testing work? Like
Yeah.
I guess on your side, like the methodology and all of that, how would that work?
Sure. So we'll do a little art lesson.
Okay.
We each inherit 50% of our DNA from our mother and 50% from our father. So if your mother's yellow and your father's blue, then what color will you be? What color will you be?
Purple.
Green.
Green.
Is it green?
Okay.
So all of us are green. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
We each inherit a little bit of DNA from our mothers that never changes. It never mixes. It
Mm,
stays yellow. So you can think of us as we're green, but we have a little yellow dot.
Okay.
And that represents mitochondrial DNA. Mitochondrial DNA is maternally inherited and it doesn't change. So we all have the same mtDNA as our mother and her mother and her mother and her mother for generations. This is just basic biology. The
yeah.
mitochondrial DNA doesn't change. So if I can find someone else in the world who has your mitochondrial DNA, then you have to have a common maternal ancestor.
Mm. Okay.
So I live in DC. My mother took our maternal test, and I didn't have to because she did it. And
Hmm.
we found matching people living in present day Nigeria who are Fulani people. So that means that I'm in DC and I have this DNA. There is someone living in Nigeria today with that same DNA. We
Mm,
each inherited it from our mother, who got it from her mother, who got it from her mother. Ultimately, we got it from one woman in Nigeria, somewhere over the past 500 to 2,000 years.
mm,
Wow.
Now, so we're just tracing one branch of your tree. You have two parents, four grandparents, eight great grandparents. We're not looking at everybody.
yeah.
That test just looks at your mother's 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 mother. because that's the one part of your DNA that never changes.
Never
It's
changes. Okay.
all the rest of the DNA, whenever two people come together, like I said, it mixes and it turns into something new.
Got it.
Now, for those people who are assigned male or intersex at birth, they also, or you also have a little bit of DNA that you inherited from your father that never mixes, that never turns green. It stays blue. And
Mm.
that's the Y chromosome. And everybody's pretty much familiar with the Y chromosome. We learned that in uh,
Mm-hmm.
high school, right? So the Y chromosome is paternally inherited. It's passed from father to son, father to son, father to son, and it never changes.
Mm.
So we can find your matching Y chromosome somewhere else in the world. Then we found someone with whom you share a common paternal ancestry. So we have two tests. One traces maternal ancestry and one traces paternal ancestry.
So, so I get the part where you're testing us, but how did you like? Did you also go to Africa and like test a bunch of Africans too? Like, how did
Yeah,
that work?
basically. So my business partner is a geneticist. He's an African American geneticist, Dr. Rick Kittles, and he collaborated with researchers across the continent
Mm.
back in the 1900s, as you would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
It took him about 10, 11, 12 years, somewhere in there, to compile a
Oh,
significant database of African lineages. So researchers on the continent were able to get blood from
Mhm.
people in
mm,
these countries that belong to these ethnic groups. And then some of our data is also from the public domain.
okay.
Mm. Okay.
But we have the largest database of African lineages in the industry. So I'm sure that there are some people who follow and who are watching who have taken a test from another company,
Mm-hmm.
and those tests are completely different. So they don't look at the maternal or the paternal, the
Okay.
yellow or the green. I mean, the yellow or the blue. They kind
Mhm.
of look at the green, if you will. They look at all DNA from across your genetic
Oh, yes.
seed,
Oh.
but it
Yeah.
all got mixed together, right? It all
Yes.
mixed. And so then they say some percentage of your mixture, your total mixture is from this place, and some percentages from that place, and some percentages from another place.
Oh,
But
okay.
you don't know which part of the family, you don't necessarily know which ethnic groups. A lot of these areas are regions and not present day delineation. So they'll say Cameroon / Congo / Bantu.
Oh.
Got it.
What does that mean? Um, and then, so those companies, they while they have like 80,000 DNA samples in their database,
Mhm.
only 4,000 to 8,000 are African.
Oh.
So it really becomes a numbers game. Do you want your DNA to be compared to over 33,000
Yeah.
African samples from 35 countries and over 400 ethnic groups? Or do you want your DNA to be compared to 4,000 samples or 8,000 samples?
Yeah. So you said that you did it or your mother did the test.
So my mother did it. And so nobody else in the family who comes from my grandmother had to do it.
Got it. And you said it led you to Fulani, right? So
Fulani people in Nigeria today.
in
So our
Nigeria. Okay.
database has Fulani in Mali, Fulani in
Yes.
Cameroon,
Okay.
Fulani in Guinea,
Yeah.
Bissau,
Hmm.
Senegal, but my
Yes.
matches were found in Nigeria today.
Got it. So when you found that out, did you see any like any connections that
You
made
know,
sense?
I'm gonna be honest. So I mean, you guys know you're running a business.
Mm-hmm.
When we found out, I was like on to the next thing. I didn't think about it. I was trying to get people tested. I was trying to
Yeah.
build a company. And my paternal ancestry, my father's father's father's
Mm-hmm.
lineage is Hausa.
Mm.
And
Oh,
so we used to give away the Encarta Africana DVD. We'll be 23 next month.
Okay.
So this is a
wow.
long time ago. We gave away the Encarta Africana DVD.
Mm.
And the digital divide was real then. It's still real. And an elder called and he was like, I don't have a computer, so you need to tell me what about the House of People.
Yeah.
And so I started reading to him about the House of People from what I saw on the
Mhm.
DVD. And it said that the women are the business people of the House of Culture. And I just got goosebumps because I didn't know that. And everybody
Yeah.
on my father's side is an entrepreneur. I mean, it's
Wow.
Wow.
crazy. He has
The
six,
women?
everybody, the women, the men, but he
Wow.
has five sisters. Everyone's an entrepreneur. Everybody, all his siblings are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that really, that made me, I was like, huh, okay,
Hmm.
there's something to this. And then when people would see me and ask me what my ancestry is, and when I say Fulani, they say that I have Fulani features,
Yep.
but that's that's all that I really
Yeah.
knew about. My connection to the Fulani was more of a physical one.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I've researched and, I can see things about my maternal lineage and the women in that lineage that are consistent with some of the things you learn about the Fulani.
Got it. Got it. Do people ever after the test they find out their ethnic group and then they end up finding an actual family member from
So
the group?
not not with our test because we don't do relationship testing.
Mm-hmm.
So the other companies, if you want to find second and third, fifth cousins,
Mm,
siblings, all of that, you can do that because of the type of DNA they look at. But
Mm-hmm.
our DNA doesn't allow for relationship testing. So no, not to my knowledge. But
Okay.
time and time again, people have traveled to the countries that they share ancestry with, or they've met people from the ethnic groups here in the United States
mm.
connected to and have formed very deep and um, important relationships.
Yeah. So, when it comes to, like, okay, like the process, like what does the process look like? When you get your kit. So like I say, oh, I want to do this. I go to, wait, let me put it up, AfricanAncestry.com.
Yep.
Okay. Then like what happens next? Like how long does it take? And like all those things.
Yeah. So we have test kits. I should have one at my fingertips and I don't. But anyway, we have test kits and
Mhm.
it's a simple swab of your cheek. So the
Okay.
kits contain swabs that look like Q-tips. You just gently collect the cheek cells, rub the inside of your cheek with the swabs. You return the swabs to us in packaging that is confidential. So it's very important to us that the people who handle your genetic information have no idea who you are.
Okay.
The swabs go to the lab. You're just a barcode. They then unlock the code, if you will, of either your mitochondrial DNA or your Y chromosome, depending on which test you took.
Okay.
And then they send our science team the data. And our science team does the analysis. And it's really a matching process. All of this DNA testing for ancestry is a matching process. They compare your DNA to the DNA in our database to look for matches. So the process takes about 6 weeks from when we receive your swabs.
Okay.
The swabbing is easy, it's painless, and then everything's done online. So you have to activate and register your kit online, and that's where you get updates on the status of your swabs and ultimately your results.
I'm sorry. Okay. So I know that this has been, thank you. I know this has been controversial. I remember the first time I heard about, and I don't know if it was even, even your organization. I just heard about this idea, and I kept saying, I was like, oh, I don't want to give somebody my DNA. Excuse me. Has that been like, does people say that?
Yeah. So that's one of our major objections is people are concerned about what will happen to their DNA. And African Ancestry is the only company that does not sell or share our customers' genetic information. We never have. And we go a step further. Our lab destroys the genetic material once your result has been determined. So we understood from the beginning. In 2003, nobody was thinking about DNA testing except for like that it could get you incarcerated or it could get you exonerated.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
what people knew about it was all of the negative ways that our genetic information has been handled over the years. And so we just made the decision, right? And Dr. Kittles is a researcher, and so he knew that the way to get people to engage was to assure them that we weren't going to mishandle their DNA. We're the only company that does that.
Well, I didn't
Oh,
know other companies, so they hold on to your data and all of that?
Heck yeah.
Wow.
That's where the money is. Your DNA is your wealth. So they might here's the other objection, I'm just gonna be straight up, is price. Our test costs more than the other companies. But the other companies can charge you $99 or $129 because guess what? They're going to use your DNA and monetize it on the back end. So you're paying them what you're paying them to then do whatever they
oh
want with
my
your
God.
genetic information later. They put it in the terms and conditions, but nobody reads the terms and
Nope.
conditions. Everybody just scrolls and
Nope.
accepts. You do it for your phone updates. We just, as a people, we don't really, I would say Americans, like nobody really fully reads the terms and conditions. So ours costs more, but you get more specificity. We're not just going to say you're from Africa, you're from West
Yeah.
Africa. We're going
Mm,
to give you the people and the place, and then we're going to destroy your DNA.
mm.
So,
So
no, go ahead, Felicia.
is anybody ever not from Africa?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Well, listen, the average Black person is 75% African ancestry, 25% European ancestry.
Mm,
None of us is 100% African unless our parents were born on the continent or we
yeah.
were born. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's and this should make sense to you all and your followers out of anybody because you all understand history. So when we trace the maternal line through the
Mm-hmm.
mothers, white women weren't having brown babies very often.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when we trace the maternal line of a Black person, 92 out of 100 of those people will have an African result. 6 will have a European result, and then 2 will have either Indigenous American or Middle Eastern or
Mm,
Asian, um, something unexpected.
yeah.
When we trace the paternal line with the Y chromosome,
Mm.
it's a whole different story because the British, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Dutch, the Germans, the French, they were involved in the slave trade. So those men
Yeah.
were fathering babies with captured and enslaved African women with
Yeah.
reckless abandon.
Yeah.
And when they have a son, the son gets their European Y chromosome.
Mhm.
He's going to pass it to his son and his son and his son, whether you look like me and Hassan
Yeah.
or you look like um I don't know who, Wesley Snipes. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I was
Like,
trying to say, I was like,
color,
Yeah.
skin color doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So 35 out of 100 men who take our paternal test, men and those assigned intersex at birth, who take our paternal test get a European result.
Mm.
mm.
And 65 out of 100 get an African result.
And you do
Oh,
you give that? Do you
Yes.
give that percentage? Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, it's not a percentage. We just you will then say your results will then say you share paternal genetic ancestry with people living in Portugal today.
Got you. Okay.
okay.
I ran into a woman. We had a meetup last night before the snow started, and at a comedy show, and this sister came up to me and she's like, how in the world did I get my father's results came back Spain and Portugal? And I'm like, well,
Think she
you
just
do know.
rolled up on you? She just rolled up on you in
I
a
mean,
comedy
she
show.
was nice about it, but she was, she was nice about it. A lot of people are not nice about it. She was nice about it, but she just she
Wow.
couldn't really grasp the idea. I'm like, don't you know that the Portuguese were some of the most vicious colonizers? So, people, it's like you take a test called African Ancestry because you want to know where in Africa you come from. But
Yeah.
we can't make that lineage African. We can only tell you what we find.
Mhm.
So that happens a fair amount of time.
So what about like all I know somebody said also said this in the chat, and I was just thinking because a lot of times like when I talk to people are like, they're always talking about their Indian heritage. You're like, oh my grandmother's Cherokee, my hair, all this little stuff. So now what about that in terms of when you do testing and that being a result?
So we hardly ever find it for paternal lineages. And for maternal lineages, I say, like I said, about two, you know,
Wow.
one 1% of the people. So here's the thing. There are a few things. One, if you know that your maternal lineage is Native American or indigenous, then you're not going to take our test because you already know what that ancestry is. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing. The second thing is a lot of our family history says that we had indigenous American ancestry based on the way people looked. And that could be because they just didn't want to accept, it was better to be part quote unquote Indian than to be part white. Uh, so it could just be that the people who are taking our test don't have indigenous ancestry on that branch of their tree.
Mhm.
I can't really say why the number is so low, but I think it's because it just doesn't happen as much as we think it did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
So, why do you feel that it's important um, to know your ancestral background? And actually, not only why is it important, but do you have like a story or an experience that you can piece together and say, why it was important for you?
For me, a
Yeah.
personal experience.
Yeah, or just why in general,
Yeah.
Yeah,
why
why
should
should
we
we do
know as African Americans?
So Black people are the original victims of identity theft.
this?
Mm,
When our ancestors were stolen from the continent and
mhm,
brought to the Americas, we lost every single thing that identifies who you are. We lost our names, we lost our languages, we lost the freedom to honor our ancestors. Our families were constantly sold apart. And if you don't have those things, then you can't know who you are. And so we have lived for more than 400 years with a void, this void in our identity. And we have created identities. Obviously, if I ask you who you are, you're going to give me some identity, answers.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing where we came from is our birthright. Every single other person on the planet knows where they came from but
Yes,
us.
yes,
So, number one is it's our birthright.
yes.
Number two, it was taken from us intentionally because that
Mm,
was the only way that this system would thrive is if we were disconnected. And so we
So true.
deserve to be reconnected. Now we can get the answer. We haven't been able to get the answer until now. And now that we can get the answer, we deserve and owe it to us to get the answer.
mhm,
The third thing is psychologists tell us that knowing where you're from is a critical component of knowing who you are.
mm.
And again,
Absolutely.
we don't know where we're from, so we can't know who we are.
Yeah.
I think that this idea of an Africa void has come about, and I define the Africa void as the lack of knowledge or understanding about Africa. And so we now live in this constant state of misunderstanding and miseducation. I feel like I shouldn't even be saying this to y'all because this is what you are about. But part of the reason that there's so many negative stereotypes is because we don't know.
Yep.
And
Mm.
so, in order for us to be able to operate successfully and effectively as a global African people, which is what we are, we have to have a
Mm.
tangible connection. I think we don't have to because we've been able to do it without it, but having a tangible connection breaks down the barriers, helps the people in the communities that we share ancestry with understand us better, and
Yeah.
helps us understand them better.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree. And listen, say what's on your mind. Just even if you think we may know, we may not know. And
Yeah.
somebody
I
in the
know y'all
audience may
know.
not know. Somebody in the audience may not know.
True.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
So
I do
sometimes,
want to respect the fact that I'm not, I don't believe I'm telling you, the two of you and your followers who are well educated, anything that they don't already know. It's just a different perspective and a different angle to better
yes,
understand the information.
definitely. But well, sometimes we ask the questions that we may want the audience to hear
Yeah.
because you hear from us all the time. Now hear from someone else. Hear
Yeah.
from a scholar.
Yeah. Yeah. Just when you're talking, I just kept thinking about somebody also said this about, the FBA people and, this whole argument that's going on with FBA versus the Africans and this and that. I mean, has this come on your door? This
I don't entertain
you don't entertain it.
that. I believe, I mean, I understand and respect people's positions, but we come from Africa. There's nothing anyone can say. I've read too many books. I I know too much history. There's no way you can tell me that that's not where we come from. And
Yeah.
I believe that we deserve to know because listen, we walk around, we the the foods that are in our families for generation,
Mm.
the spiritual practices, the healing practices, the way we dress, the music we listen to, all of that is informed by our ancestry. It didn't just start when we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing who we are, even in a day-to-day kind of situation, is informed in some way by where we come from. And everyone, in my opinion, is better off if they know as much about themselves as possible.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this is a tool that you can use to learn more about yourself and your family. And the benefit, one of the other benefits of African ancestry tests is that we are tracing lineages. So like I mentioned, when my mother took the test, that means the results are good for me as her daughter, her sister and brother,
Hmm.
their children, those children's children,
Yeah.
my grandmother, all of her sisters and brothers, and their children. So one
Oh,
test gives you an answer for an entire lineage. That's a family reunion right there.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
One test, and people 70, 80, 10, whatever,
Yeah.
multiple people for the most part have the same answer. And the same thing on your father's side. My father took the test. So his 6 siblings, all of their children, of which I'm included, their children, my grandfather was still living, his brothers and sisters who were still living, their children. So this is not 299 that you're going to spend just on you, which you
Yeah.
do all the time anyway. Many of
Hmm.
us, like you said, I'm not in their pocketbooks, Hassan, but I do
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I just came back from Ghana with 500 AKAs, my sorors, and those women were shopping.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God. Yeah. The
Were
shopping. Don't even.
shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Couldn't
Yeah.
get enough shopping. So,
Yeah.
I know that we spend our money on what we value.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just
Absolutely.
it. And so I just am grateful for the people who value this information and hope that more people start to see the value of knowing where in Africa you come from.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained that again, as far as like if you take one test, because this person here, I'm gonna put him back on the screen.
Mhm.
He might not, he or she might not have been there when you explained, when you answered this question. So can you answer this one more time?
I can. So African Ancestry's test is different than the other companies. First of all, we are Black owned, Black woman led, Black funded, Black founded. We're a private company. We don't answer to any shareholders or investors. Secondly, we provide specific information. We don't tell you that you're some percentage West African. I'm going to tell everybody that now. Everybody who's listening, you have West African ancestry.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, is it only in West Africa? Like no, like
Well,
East
no,
Africa or
not
no?
really, because for the people who are the descendants of those who were enslaved, we're looking at a time frame of 500 to 2,000 years. And
Okay.
Okay.
most of us
Okay.
came from West and Central Africa. Now, before that, there was a migration from the East to the West, but
Mhm.
we're trying to answer the question, where were my people before the slave trade? So we do that, and with specificity that the other companies don't offer. And then we also are a niche business. We're not trying to DNA test the whole world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If we were on a major scale like those companies, then we'd have an economies of scale that would allow us to have a lower price. But anyway, the last thing is we don't sell or share our customers' DNA.
Yeah,
We destroy it. And so
that right there is worth it.
that is why we have to charge more, because we're not monetizing your DNA after the fact like the other companies are.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
while I'm on it, one more thing is, if you take the other company's test, your results only apply to people in your family who share both of your parents.
mm.
So when you
Okay.
take
Just like
that
you and your
test,
sibling.
it's just you and your siblings if you have the same parents.
Okay.
With our test, the results are um, the same for everybody on a lineage.
Wow.
Okay.
So now, are you guys gonna? I mean, I don't know. Okay, I'm not trying to scale your company, but I'm just like asking, what's next? I mean, like this is huge. Like, is there something else we should be testing for? I mean, like, is there something else you guys are thinking about doing, or just you're gonna keep doing this to and try to reach more Black folks?
Well, yeah, so we're a small business, and so we
Mm,
haven't even scratched the surface
yeah.
of the number of Black people.
Mm.
We've, as a result of African ancestry testing, I would say well over 1 million people, Black people around the world, know where they're from. You know how many Black people are in the
Yeah.
US alone.
Wow.
Um, so there are other opportunities that we could pursue relative to using your DNA, not just for psychological well-being, but for physical well-being. But that would require that people allow us to use their DNA,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
and research it. And
Yeah.
with the way it's going, people, there are
Yeah.
some people who would love for that to happen, but
Yeah.
we're still trying to get people to just find out where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
people other than Black folks use you guys to do research on them?
sometimes we'll get a white person every now and then, but it's because they think that they have African ancestry somewhere, or
Mm,
because they've taken the other company's test and it said that they were 3% West African. And so now they
Mm.
want to come to us for us
Yeah.
to tell them where in West Africa.
break
But
it down where.
Yeah.
the other test doesn't say which branch of the tree that 3% is found on. So we can't help you with that. We are in business for Black people.
Mm.
Mm.
Has
Everybody,
it,
there are other tools for other people to know where they're from. They can use their last names. They have
yeah.
genealogy records. They were
Yeah.
recorded in the census before 1870. Like, they have ways of knowing. Their family information has been passed down. We're the one, we're here for the people who don't have that, who don't have the records, who don't have the, who couldn't pass down stories because their families got sold apart, you know?
Mhm.
Wow.
Has there been any like shocking results, anything like that that you can share or that you remember?
Shocking. Well, I'm telling you, when the results aren't African, people are shocked. But, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's, but let me just keep it 100. That's why I'm not taking. I had, like, before I wanted to take it, then I was like, well, no, they might do something with my DNA. And then as I started thinking about it, I was like, I don't care where I'm from. I'm Black. I love Black people. I don't want to get any results like, oh, you're 85% European. I think I would probably die. You know what I'm saying?
you wouldn't get that from us.
Thank God.
You
I
wouldn't get
know I can't take it.
Girl, you can take it.
Yeah, you be all
You
right.
already know you're not 100%.
Not I can't take the test. Like, I can't take the results. Like,
No,
I
I
don't
understand.
boo.
But
handle
you
it.
can take the results because you're not 100% African. You already know that.
I
Exactly.
know, but I don't want no percent. Listen, my percentage got to be high. It got to be like 99.5. It does.
We don't deal in percentages. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're okay with that. I say you take the African Ancestry maternal test. That's the only one you can take anyway because you don't have a Y chromosome. And yeah.
Mm.
Did
And
you
so
say that it only traces back to one ethnic group, or does it trace back to different ethnic groups?
it depends. So the majority of our results go back to one country, one group. But if you think about how the borders of present day African countries were artificially and politically drawn,
Hmm.
then you could understand how we may find matches with people living in Sierra Leone and its neighbor Liberia, or Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea-Bissau. There's like
Hmm.
600 miles between those countries. Today,
Yeah,
they are those countries, but
yeah,
prior to the Berlin Conference, that's
yeah,
not what it was all that's the Grain Coast, it
yeah,
was all
yeah.
grain or the Gold Coast so we do find some shared lineages. Sometimes we'll find in Cameroon, one of the common combinations of lineages are the Massa, the Mafa, and the Kotoko people. They're
Hmm.
all in the northern part of Cameroon, all in the same area. And so, you know, ethnic groups are social groupings, they're not genetic groupings.
Yes,
So
yes.
I just saw something on Instagram. There was a set of twins. One just crossed AKA, the other just crossed Delta. They belong to different groups, they may be in different states because they go to different schools, but they
Yeah,
have the same genetics.
got you.
So, or religion, somebody in
Yeah,
the family
yeah,
may be Baptist, somebody may be AME, another person may be Muslim, but they have the same genetics.
Mm.
got
But
it.
in terms of shocking, I can't think of a shocking story, but I do have a favorite story
Okay,
that's very empowering to me, and
okay.
I love telling this story. I thought he was 9 years old when he took the test. I just learned he was 11, but in my
Yeah.
mind, he was a little boy. His name is Julian, and he went to a private school, elementary school, where they celebrated a global day, and they
Mm.
put a big map up on the wall and had each student put a pin in the map for the country that they came from.
Mm.
He asked his mother, "Where am I supposed to put my pin?"
Yep,
Mm.
yep,
And so he told her he wanted to know where he was from in Africa.
yep.
And she got the test, and he took the test, and he has a business called the Step Stool Chef. So he teaches children how to cook.
Yeah.
And so at the time when he was 11, they lived in Dallas, and we did a reveal, and he was there. We revealed him. And I asked him, how did he feel? And he said, I can put two pins in the map.
Mm.
So
Oh,
happy to be able to claim two places because we found his ancestry among the Tikar people in Cameroon and the Bubi people, uh, on Bioko Island, which is a part of Equatorial Guinea, which is right across in the water from
Yeah.
Cameroon.
Yeah. Wow.
And now he has added a Cameroonian jollof rice to his recipes. So when he's teaching kids how to cook, sometimes he teaches Cameroonian jollof rice.
That's nice.
Nice.
Oh,
You
that's a
know,
good story.
Nice.
so
Nice.
it's things like that. And then his
Yeah.
little sister, who was, I don't know, she was 5 or something, 6 at the time.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
she knows where she's from as she's growing up and gotten a little bit older.
Mm.
And now he's going to college with this knowledge. You know what oh, that
Yeah.
Yep.
hurt. I didn't
Yep.
mean
Little KRS-One.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, MC Light. There we go.
right. So I love that story
Yes.
because it really does show the impact on kids. Our kids are the ones who feel disenfranchised at school, get left out in these multicultural environments.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is a way to balance the playing field. It's a way to balance the playing field in the office, quite honestly. For
Yeah.
those of us who still have offices, I've heard so many adults who've had team building exercises and they say, "Where are you from?" Which is just such an insensitive
Yeah.
question for people like us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what? As I hear you just like spitting off these tribes and where they're at, like nothing. Like, are you guys, or did you think about perhaps doing like a map of Africa where the tribes are, or some type of animation like where they moved from, or just? I mean, I would be happy just with a map with it color coded. Okay, listen, you gotta be specific. You gotta be color coded with where these tribes are because this is so fascinating.
Yeah. Well, we do give we have a book actually that we
Oh,
give to the people who've taken the test. So that's part of
okay,
the results package is a book. There's a map and you
Mm.
can
okay.
see
Oh, okay.
where your ancestry is and learn about the country and the people. But we haven't done that. Well, actually, you know what? No, we didn't do that. But we are launching a coloring book that
Oh,
is discovering the nations of Africa.
that's
And
nice.
so you can color each country and name each culture, the
Yeah.
flags in
Yeah.
there. So
Oh,
it's not by
nice.
ethnic group, but
Yeah.
it's by
Wow.
country.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I guess
What African countries have you been to?
So in college, I went to Senegal. I was in Senegal for 3 months.
Oh wow. All right.
I've been to Cameroon. I've
Mm-hmm.
been to Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Egypt. Kim, where you guys are, I was like, whoo, they're doing a lot going to Ghana
yeah,
and
we get
Togo
it
and
in.
Yeah.
Kemet. I've been to Morocco. I've been to Tanzania,
Mm.
South Africa, Ethiopia, and that's it.
And what have your
Sierra
experience?
Leone. I've been to Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
What have your experiences been in all of those countries? Have it negative, positive, a little bit of both?
I've always had positive experiences. So for the most part, I mean, when I was in Senegal, there was one older gentleman who
Mm.
used to like scream at me and call me light skinned,
Mm.
every time I walk by, but that was his problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I love the food in Dakar. I
Mm.
could eat Senegalese food every day.
Yep.
I think the people are absolutely beautiful, the Senegalese people.
Mhm.
I think I'm partial because that was my first country. I do have a funny story though. So when I was coming from the airport and I was in college, so I was maybe 20. I think I
Mhm.
was 20. It was my junior year. And I saw people walking with, carrying any and everything on their
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was a negative stereotype that we
Mm.
had been taught. I didn't realize that it was a real
Oh,
thing and that that's how people just went about it every day. And I was like, what?
you
But
see?
I think that the people in Morocco are as beautiful as the people
Mhm.
in Senegal. It's just
Mm.
they're beige. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just think it's the same exact form of beauty, but just different
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah.
Of course, Kemet, I learned so much going on that Tony Browder study tour.
Yeah.
And it was great to physically see the things that he teaches through his books and also here through his lectures and stuff. Um, Sierra Leone was amazing because they offered citizenship to people who've taken our test whose results are Sierra Leonean.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Oh.
it was wonderful to see the acceptance on a governmental level.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere I've gone, people have said you are welcome in West Africa. You are welcome. You are welcome. They know and understand that we're there for heritage tourism,
Yeah.
and are very welcoming. South Africa, it was cool, but I'm partial to the West Coast. I feel like that's
Mm.
where people are from, and um, but yeah, I've not had any negative experiences. Of course, here's the thing: when we travel abroad, we're Americans.
Yeah.
We don't we go as Black people, we go as
Yep.
people of African descent, but we're
Yeah.
received as Americans. And
Absolutely.
so that can be a tough adjustment
Yeah.
because when you see Americans, you see money.
Yep.
You see a lot of American stereotypes that don't necessarily apply to Black Americans.
Yeah.
So that can be tough.
Yeah.
But again, I don't take it personally. I just think it's just ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Because we have this thing going on. Well, I'm not going to say right now, but it's been going on that Africans from the continent don't like Black Americans, and Africans think that Black Americans don't like them. So I don't know. I don't know if that's an internet thing, or because every time I've been to Africa, it's never been an issue like that, like what they're saying.
Yeah, so we started a series that I hope to continue this year, because when I was in Togo, where you all
Mhm.
are
You
going,
know what? Listen, you keep on talking about our little stuff. While you're talking, I'm gonna put this up. Go ahead.
yeah. So when
Yeah,
I was
don't
in
let
Togo, I was at a Pan-African Congress, and one of the things I learned that shocked me was that the people in my commission, and I'm speaking generally, okay, I don't want anybody to come for me.
Mm,
Generally speaking, um, African students are not taught a general history of Africa.
Mm.
And generally speaking, they are not taught a history of their country. So if they're not taught about a history of Africa or their country, there's no way they know about the slave trade. And
Yeah.
there's no way that they know about our experience as those who
mm.
are descend from enslaved people. So
Yeah.
right there's a disconnect.
Yep.
And so, and then it's my understanding that the people who are able to come, let's say the African students who come and study at American universities, for the most part, are wealthy. And when they come, the administrations discourage them from interacting with Black Americans.
Yeah.
So if all the messages you're getting about on both sides are negative, and you're being told by Americans to stay away from these groups of people
Hmm.
because they're this, and this, then there's no hope. That's why we have to find out where we're from. That's why we have to travel to all these countries like you guys are doing,
Yeah.
because we have to see for ourselves, and we have to break these stereotypes. It's ridiculous. It's 2026,
Yep.
but it
Exactly.
takes education. It takes
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna just a little quick little commercial break. Family, make sure that you are liking, sharing, and commenting on this video, and share it with some other people so that we can kind of demystify the myths around getting DNA testing.
Yeah.
Okay. And specifically, if when someone starts asking you, just tell them to look at this video, because the way that Dr. Paige breaks this down and all the reasons why you should do it. But the thing I love the best is that what they do with your DNA at the end, they destroy it. It's like all green lights. Also, family, if you can see, I love how Dr. Paige, like, I think I was trying to count. I think it was like, what is that? 12 countries you've been to in Africa?
Yeah, I
12,
think like
13?
10 or 11. I don't know, girl.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
enough. I want to go. I want to go to more.
exactly. Listen, 54. We got all 54. We might not be able to get to two of them, but right, we can definitely get to. We need to be shooting for that. So, family, make sure that you know, if you know, when you're thinking about this, and I love how she was just naming these countries. This is a good opportunity for you to roll with us to go to Ghana, Togo, and Egypt. You already got 3 out of 54 already done right there. Um,
Can I
yeah,
ask something about why they should go on your trip?
yes. So, there's lots of reasons why. Go ahead.
How many times do you hear about people going to Dubai or go, and what are they going to Dubai for? I don't
Yep.
even know. Like, are they going there for a cultural experience? Are they going there to shop?
You know
Like,
what?
what are they going to Dubai for? What are they going to Bali for? What are they going to Paris for?
Yeah.
But if you go, it's only because you've never been told how easy and how fulfilling it will
Yep.
be to travel to a country where everybody looks like you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looks like you.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that. And when you go
Exactly.
to Ghana, you can have every experience. Like, I don't know what you're gonna be doing with HAPI, but I know you're gonna have some heritage. You're gonna go to Gold
Absolutely. Yeah. Being
Coast, Guyana. You're
yeah,
gonna
Amina
you're
Dungeon.
gonna get all that. You're gonna learn about the Ashanti, but you can also turn up like you do at home.
Yeah.
You can go to the Sky Bar. You can go to the Sandbox. You know what I mean? Like, you can shop
Yeah.
just like you would anywhere else. Only there, you're getting clothes that are made by people who look like you for your body type and all those things.
Yeah.
When you go to Togo, I wasn't in Togo very long, so I'm not sure, but they have beautiful beaches that I'm sure you guys will take advantage of. And then why wouldn't you want to learn about ancient Egypt and Kemet? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you've heard about pyramids, you've heard about all of these things. You can actually go see them. When you go with them, you're going to go inside of, I'm sure you guys are going inside
Yeah,
of
we do
these
the
pyramids.
progression of pyramids actually. Yeah. So we start with we're in Saqqara and Dashur, then we head to Giza. So it's like we're getting to see the progression of the pyramids. And then we're gonna roll to Luxor and stay there and you know you can get on the hot air balloon and see all of Luxor. We're gonna go to Karnak Temple. Like, yeah, like this is really a very nice, well-rounded trip. But it just, you know, like a lot, you know, I love how you were going to these places and then like some places you probably went back and you stayed longer. And that's the piece. Like we're here to give you like a little taste of it so that you can then say, you know, just see what it's about, especially if you've never been to the continent, you
Yep.
know. And the other piece is that you're with a whole bunch of other people. So you're not going there by yourself if you don't, you know, prefer to go by yourself. Some, you know, I love solo traveling, but that's not for everybody. And so this is nice. And we have all different age groups. It's just like a bonding that happens when you go on these trips. That's really for your lifetime. So yeah, it's a really good trip, family. Really try to check it out, aketours.com. And like I said, listen, this first, you know, bunch of tickets that we have, it behoove you to put your, you know, deposit down so that you
Hmm.
can at least, you know, secure your seat at this price, and then we work it out. We got all types of payment plans. We Black, so you know, we got the payment plan. Yep. And thank you, Dr. Paige. You need to come on over to our little marketing side over here. Like, what's good?
It just makes me, I mean, every time I see somebody posting about going to Dubai, I'm like, what?
You know, to me,
Long
it's like
ass flight for what?
you know what? To me, it's like going to Vegas. It's like an African Vegas. You know, it's not even, I don't even know if I would say African, but it's like Vegas. Like Vegas is so like kind of made up, you know, and no shot. I mean, listen, I ain't trying to diss nobody from Vegas. I'm just saying when you go, a lot of it is just like really recreated, you know, and so I don't know.
But
Um,
I think like Dr. Page said, it has to do with the programming, because if that's what's being shown consistently, then you know that's just how the mind works most
yeah,
of the time when you're not trying to retrain your mind to think differently, you're just going to go with the program with the photo op of Dubai, because there is great photo ops, if that's what you're into. Well,
Yeah.
if you're posting on Instagram and certain social media platforms, and you want to portray that, it's a great place to go
That's
to
true.
portray that.
That's true. And I shouldn't be so harsh. Like, but if you have the
No,
opportunity,
you should be. You should be.
if you have the
No, we like,
opportunity to
you
go to Africa, what the only reason you haven't been is because you don't know. And you don't know because they don't want you to know.
yeah.
This is the problem.
And it's so interesting when people come to come with us. A lot of times when we get to the pyramids, we're like, you can go inside, and people are like, oh, you can go inside. Like, no, and in fact, when the first time I ever went, I didn't think you could actually go inside the pyramids. I didn't know that was a thing.
I was so scared. I was like, oh my God. Because you got to go through that really narrow part. But it's totally worth it, because then once you get through it, it's like, and we built it. That's the thing. We built that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We built it.
Exactly.
Yeah, family. Yeah.
Like you said, if you don't know that there's photo ops all throughout Africa, because we're constantly being shown one aspect or maybe two different aspects of, Africa and the different African countries, but they're not showing it in its entirety, like different levels of the continent, different ethnicities. So, come on, people, y'all got to travel with us. Y'all definitely got to travel with us.
Yeah. It's going to be, this trip is going to be nice. Very nice trip. And like we said, it's the value, like, just what do you value?
Yes.
Yeah. And we ain't trying to be in nobody's pocketbooks, because we got the same pocketbook that everybody else got. We always got to put these little things together.
Yeah.
So right there, family. Yeah.
And it's what you get out of it as an individual. Everybody's not going to have the same exact experience. Everybody's not going to have the same exact stories. You could be on the same pilgrimage and you all have different experiences and different.
Absolutely.
It all depends on your worldview, who you are, and where you're coming from, and what's your mindset going in.
Yeah, but we can promise you that you will have an experience. That we can promise you.
For
It
sure.
will be an experience.
For sure.
So, Dr. Paige, well, first of all, do you have any travel plans coming up?
No. I just got back from Ghana, and I'll be traveling in the US, but not nowhere fancy.
Yeah. So, I just want to I want to make sure people, didn't miss what you said about Sierra
Leone.
Sierra Leone. Yes. But you said, like, that's dope. So, like, have you inked that deal with other countries? In terms of if they have lineage there, that they can get citizenship there?
So Sierra Leone was the first to do it based on DNA. And they're the only ones to do it based on, up until recently, they were the only ones. They stopped doing it in 2023, I think, is when the last time they did it. Ghana offers citizenship now, but it's not based on DNA.
Okay.
Benin, I understand, offers citizenship to people of African descent. So you just have to show that you are of African descent, and you can get that. So that's DNA. Cameroon is a country that we find results from very often, but their constitution does not allow for dual citizenship. So that's not something. I know there was some talk about Burkina Faso offering it, but they have not done it yet. So every country is trying to figure out how to replicate what Ghana did with the year of the return in 2019.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, there was a commemoration of the arrival, the 400th anniversary of the first arrival of enslaved Africans at Jamestown, Virginia. And
Okay.
so it was like 19 to 2019. And Ghana had a huge tourism effort around the year of return, and it has continued beyond the return. And, thousands of African Americans and Africans from around the diaspora have gone to Ghana over the past, what's that, 6 years?
Yeah.
People have been going, and it's been a huge boost to their economy.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
other countries want to figure out how to do that as well.
Mm.
So I think eventually we'll see more of that
Mm.
Yeah.
citizenship by DNA.
Yeah. I think it's an excellent idea, and I also, like for some of the countries, if they want, like, they want us to come visit, like, they have to make it easy. They got to make, like, doing this process easy.
Right.
The
At the
visa,
very last,
like,
at the
oh,
very least, no visas.
yeah, that little visa
Yeah.
process, because a lot of it is
Mm.
very daunting to people and intimidating if you don't have somebody to help you walk it through. And by the way, family, yes, you need a visa for Ghana and for Togo and for Egypt.
Yeah.
We take care of your Egypt one. That's that's easy, but I help you along with our team. We walk you through the process of getting both your visa in from Ghana and from Togo. And that's just part of, like, if when you sign up with us, like, we make sure, like, you can ask anybody that traveled with us. We just came back from Ghana in August, and we were in that airport, we were straight. Everybody had their visas, we were good. And so yeah, family, that's something that we also offer when you sign up with us. But yeah.
I want to go back to the data and you all getting rid of the data. What are some things other companies do with the data if you're familiar with, or like what can they do?
They can sell access to it to pharmaceutical companies for research.
Mm,
Mm.
That's
got
the
it.
most lucrative.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I
Now,
don't like the way that
they
sounds.
also could, without guardrails. So the companies have guardrails, but without guardrails, they could sell it to anybody. They could sell it to insurance companies.
Hmm.
They could sell it to, I'm trying to think, there was a big, I can't remember now, but companies like insurance companies,
Yeah.
which then could potentially affect your rates, healthcare rates, car insurance rates, whatever. Anybody that can discriminate, any business that's in the position to discriminate,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they get your, if they have access to your DNA, then they can discriminate.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't do that. We
Yep.
don't keep your DNA. We destroy it. Our lab destroys it like any other medical waste. It's not, you are never at risk of that happening if you take an African ancestry test kit. We've been in business for 23 years.
Mm.
Oh,
We've
nice.
never been subpoenaed by any police, federal organizations or
Yeah.
entities. None of that craziness that you see happening in the news, that does not happen when you don't keep people's DNA.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah, that's what's up.
And about how long how long is the entire process?
It takes about 6 weeks once we get your swab. So let's
Mhm.
say you placed an order today. Feel free to go to africanancestry.com
Right
and place
there.
an order tonight.
Uh-huh.
But you'd get your kit within the week. And
Mhm.
then if you do your swabbing immediately, probably within the next week, they'd get to the lab. And then about 6 weeks, we're trending quicker than 6 weeks, but about 6 weeks. So about 8 weeks from when you purchase a kit, if you
Mhm.
are just, follow the steps and you
Yeah.
don't lollygag. And
Mm.
we've waited for hundreds of years. So 6 to 8 weeks is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Do you find that our people rather go to other testing sites opposed to ours? I mean, opposed to yours?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
ours. Um, yes, of course.
yeah.
People who buy on. Okay, there are people who are not familiar with African ancestry, so they go to other companies. There are people who go to other companies and then are upset that they don't get any meaningful information as it relates to Africa. Now, if you want to know about,
Okay.
potential family members and all that, then those companies are good for that. Um,
Yes.
No, because they keep your DNA.
well, I'm just saying, but if you want
Yeah,
to know that, we
yeah,
can't help you with your family members, but
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah.
And then there are people who just buy on price because they don't
Mm.
value what we offer the same way that we do. And so
Yeah.
they're like, well, I can get it. Like someone said, why does yours cost so much? Well, I don't know. Why do Birkin bags cost what they cost? Why
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
why does the strip club cost what it costs? Why do
Yeah.
Beyonce tickets cost what they cost?
Yes.
yeah.
True indeed. True
But
indeed.
when you start to think about, but I get it. Like you can spend your money however you want. Like I said, you spend your money on what you value. But if you're just buying on price, then we're not going to be your first choice.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Page. Thank you. This has been very enlightening. I'm glad you broke down the process, and I really love this destroying of the DNA piece. Like
Mhm.
that's yeah, like yeah. And
What's
you
the what's the biggest misconception that people have about DNA testing?
Ooh, no one has ever asked me that question, ever.
Okay.
Huh. What is the biggest misconception that people have about DNA testing? As it relates to us, I think because the other companies are larger and they can afford, they have huge marketing budgets, they have determined the narrative for what a DNA test should be. So
mm,
people think that DNA, finding out what percentage African ancestry you have is is a good thing, is sufficient. And I would argue that that's not sufficient. Not knowing that you are 80% African,
Yeah.
you don't need to pay anybody to tell you that. You don't need to
Yes.
pay not $1
Yes.
on a DNA test for it to tell you that you're some percentage African. To me, that's just thievery.
Yeah.
mm,
So
I
I
never
think the
thought of that.
biggest
Wow.
misconception is that is that is good enough. And then within Africa, they compare you to 4,000 people to tell you you're some percentage from these regions, and they don't even have all the countries.
Mm.
mm.
They don't have every Africa. They don't have every West African country in their database.
Wow.
We get people who will say you share ancestry like Q-Tip or Sheila E. with the Jola people living in Guinea-Bissau today. And then they'll come to us and say, well, Ancestry didn't tell me that. So how can you say I'm from Guinea-Bissau and they didn't tell me that?
Mm.
So then our question is, do they have Guinea-Bissau in their database?
Mm.
Mm.
They
Wow.
can't tell you you're from Guinea-Bissau if they don't have any Guinea-Bissau samples in their database.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if I were to sum it all up, I would say people think that a DNA test for ancestry should be percentages of ancestry, and
Hmm.
I think that that's a misconception.
Mm.
Are you guys still collecting more data across Africa, or just, I mean, I know you said it was West Africa, but are you doing any other countries in Africa?
No, not right now. Excuse me. No, I mean, again, we are focused on people who descend from the transatlantic slave trade. That's our market.
Okay. And for the last, you said 500 to 2,000 years, because I know somebody in the chat was asking how far do you go back? So it's 500 to about 2,000 years.
Mhm.
And that's what's up.
Yeah.
So the brother
The other
Nawari,
misconception, Hassan, is that the white people must be right.
Mm.
always,
How
white
about
is
that?
right. White is right. I'm looking for Nawari's question.
He did have a question. Well, he
Yeah, well,
said,
no, it's not his question. He's basically saying that
Oh,
he would say the
yeah.
biggest
Shout out
misconceptions
to
that DNA
Noir.
testing is fake. Yeah,
Yep. That's a good one.
yeah, that's my brother. He worked with me. We worked together.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
listen, he held his results. He took the test before the pandemic. So we would actually mail out hard copy results.
Mhm.
He had his results for 2 years and never opened that envelope.
Wow.
I have
Why?
never in my life, I will never forgive him for that. And I went to New Jersey and I can't remember what university it was, but I went to the university he was at in New Jersey
Mhm.
and he handed me his envelope to do the reveal. And I was like, you have actually
Wow.
have the result.
Did he
Patient.
did he say why? Did he say why he didn't open it?
He wanted me to reveal them.
He went, okay, I hear
And
that.
he was gonna wait until that happened.
I hear
Oh,
that.
what's up? Yeah, you know what? I want to ask you that because you said that about the 11-year-old boy. So you guys do reveals too, or did you do it just for him?
Oh,
Like, how did that
yeah.
work?
Girl, we do reveals, and now you see other people talk about they revealing their ancestry results, whatever.
Yeah, I
But,
do. You're right. I see it on what's the guy that's on PBS? He
yeah,
does.
whatever, man. Don't even
I'm
get
not gonna
into
say names. We ain't got no names over here in HAPI.
it.
We ain't got no names.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes,
Wow.
reveals are a cornerstone of the African ancestry experience. So I keep saying I was in Ghana last week. So 500 AKs went to Ghana because it was our Founders Day and we chartered a chapter in Ghana. But
Oh.
117 of them took our test.
Oh,
And
wow.
during one of the events, the gala, I revealed more than 100 people. I
Oh,
revealed
that's dope.
Wow, nice.
so we do that a lot. Like we have so when we were in Dallas, we had a meetup at it's a really dope bookstore and she has sculptures. I wish I could Pan African. I can't think of her name, but that sister
Mhm.
has a beautiful store. And so we did reveals as part of that.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes we reveal like okay Africa did a series and we revealed Q-Tip, we revealed the root Questlove and Black Thought, Erica Badu.
Okay.
We used to participate on the Capital Jazz Super Cruise and we would do reveals on that, so yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun and it
yeah.
gives people a chance to see it, like feel the energy around it and
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how
Yeah.
people react and what it means to
yeah,
them to have the information.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Wow. That's nice. That's what's up. All right,
Yeah,
you have to come back, Dr. Paige.
yeah, for
I
sure.
will come back anytime.
For
Soon
my
as I got
reveal.
that text, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what's up. And you know what? And if you don't mind, you can if you just stay with us, we're gonna and you can read the question to everybody because we're getting ready to give out our box, our HAPI box family. And you know, so Dr. Paige sent over some questions. Dr. Paige, your questions was too easy.
They were?
They were too easy. We just got them off like no. They were just we read
because
them.
they'll jump on Google real quick.
Exactly. So
Well, did y'all say send hard questions?
No, we didn't. You're right. You're right.
Sorry.
We didn't.
Hassan,
You're
you
right.
supposed to make them hard. Like
All
Jabari,
right.
you know Jabari Osazi? He's a history teacher. He's the history man and lives in Harlem. He ain't no joke. His questions was hard. Like in fact, like right before I did one, and I was like, okay, I had to, we had to get a hold of him to get the answer. Like all his stuff is hard. And so
listen, we crowdsourced our questions from our team.
Really? Wow, we got to get some harder questions.
Dang.
You know what? Okay,
Can you
so
tell
you
them
can
I got busted out on the live because the questions were too easy.
yeah, we want some real like challenging ones that people can't just look up in Google and you like really quickly. Like they need to,
Almost like trick questions.
yeah, where you think in your mind is one thing, but then when you start really, thinking about it, that ain't the answer. Yeah. So I'm sorry, fam. I just gotta plug in for a minute. All right, so I'm gonna put up the question, but I'm gonna first tell everybody what they're gonna get in the box.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and read this. Okay, wait, excuse me 1 second. Let me just.
Dang, I feel terrible that our questions were too easy.
Now it's about, because they can jump on Google real quick and just get the answer with some of those questions. But you almost want it to be like a trick question where they're so sure because they think it's so easy, but it's really a different answer.
Yep. So, family, this is it. So, if we're gonna put up a question, and Dr. Paige is gonna read the answer. Excuse me. She's gonna read the question, and then we're gonna put up the email address. And the first person to email us with the correct answer will win a HAPI box right here. So let me tell you what's in the HAPI box. Okay. So first of all, it's a beautiful box. We love the box. When you open it, that is the HAPI actual. If you can see it, it's the actual HAPI glyph right there. Okay, now inside we got a lot of fun stuff inside. So you get a personal letter from myself, Hassan Aki, right here, because everybody needs a personal letter, and that's us thanking you. You also get our beautiful little HAPI mug. Okay, HAPI mug. And then we have one of our supporters, Enoch Hankerson. And if anybody knows Enoch, I mean, he is hands down the person who does he does all the maps. And so he's given everybody a map of Kemet right there. And it's laminated. It's really nice. Okay. Like it's really nice. He used to do maps with Dr. Runoko Rashidi. And listen, because we want you to come to Egypt. And when you do, so you get we have $100 gift certificate. Okay. Where you get $100 off ICAT tourist trip, but when you also get a fan, because as Dr. Paige knows,
it is hot.
Yes. So and these are, and tell you, this is like the best fan right here. So everybody gets a little fan for Africa, so you can just be nice. This is nice. All right. And there's still more, fam. Everybody gets a HAPI t-shirt right there. And this is one of our beautiful this is the HAPI Compass t-shirt, if you can see it right there. Yeah. And we didn't make a lot of these, family, so it's really cool if you're able to snag one. And then Tinas Tillman, which was one of our guests, he's dope. And he wrote a whole book and he donated 10 copies to the family. It's called 7 Keys. And these are the 7 keys for personal development. And if you guys missed that show, just go to HAPI Film on Facebook or on YouTube and check it out, because he goes through each key. Like this is really a good book. He actually was inspired to write this after his son was murdered. And he turned that pain and grief into a really solid book. So family right there, 7 keys. And wait, there's more. And so when we did this conference in 2022, we were supposed to be going to Egypt. That's a whole other thing. And we're going to have a big conference there. And it was some drama. And so we ended up moving the conference to Detroit. And so we put together, and this was really nice. And this is when we really started walking into the space of power and unity, right? And so we actually entitled the conference in Detroit, One Africa, the Power of Unity. And the cool thing about this is that all the guests wrote a personal piece about unity and what it meant to them. And so when we made copies of this, we had one on each chair for everybody. And then we seen like people just going around, like just picking them up, like taking 3 and 4. We were like, whoa, we had to like roll up with little old ladies, like put that back. But everybody will get one of these commemorative books. They're very nice. I mean, we have Dr. Susan Tata, Dr. Leonard Jeffries. These are all people who rolled to the conference. Asar Imhotep, Dr. Rosin Jeffries, and Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Kaba, Infudishi, Dr. Ken Harris was the host. It's a really good read. And yeah, and that's it. All right, family. So the box is nice. I'm telling you, the box is nice, and the mug is like one of my favorite things because I don't have one. None of us have one. We need to
Nope.
get one.
Nope.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna put the question up. Are you ready? Are you ready, Dr. Paige?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
You putting the question up, or you putting the question up first, or the email?
Oh yeah, you know what? Let me get the little email together. And family, and when we're done with this, don't go any place because we have Dr. Moore is back in the house. You know, he got a little something to tell us. Okay. Yes, let me put the email up first. So everyone get to your computers now. Okay. That is the email address. Okay. All right. And now we're gonna put up the question. Okay, and Dr. Paige will read the question. All right. Can you see the question? Yes.
Who hasn't heard of the massive celebrations known as Carnival? Did you know that Africans created it? What was it called?
All right, fam.
We should have had some kind of music playing or something like
I
that.
know we gotta get like some. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what type of music. But no, we can't play music because then YouTube will like get us on copyright infringement.
Oh, that's
They
true.
always try to get you. Yeah,
That's true.
we just have to make our own little music.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to this.
Right
You
there,
see?
family. Come on. Who was
Who
and we're
hasn't
we're
heard?
waiting for the results because we have our other HAPI guy, Taki,
Backstage.
backstage, and he's combing through. He has to read all the emails, and he's gonna let us know.
The massive celebrations known as Carnival that Africans created. What was it called?
Come on, fam.
See, because there's a popular. No, you know what? Let me just be quiet.
Yeah, you can't. You want to try to give it away?
Let me just be quiet. Let me just be quiet.
Yeah. Come on, fam. You're gonna go to happyfilm @gmail.com.
And we got Dr. T. Owens Moore coming up, and Molly Kentek. I hope I said the name right.
Yes, we got to ask her. Yeah, they got to come on like really for their own. They're getting ready to do a whole Pigment Power conference in Atlanta, but they got to come on like after the conference or maybe during the conference. We got to do something else with them because they're very interesting people. Yeah.
Yeah, they got some.
Wait. Dr. Paige, are you trying to look it up?
No, I was looking at what people were putting in the chat.
You'll try to see. I know.
Yeah, I don't know why they putting it in the chat and not putting it in the email.
Put it on a happyfilm @gmail. Okay, I got some little dots over here on my okay, yeah, no, so far we have the answers are incorrect that's coming through.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it's not just a black and white answer.
Yeah. Yep. So this might have to take a minute. So
we may have to come back to it. We'll bring Dr. T. Owens Moore on.
Okay,
so,
wait. Why isn't Wari like check the spam? We checking spam. We checking spam.
Oh, that means he must got the answer.
I was gonna say, he must know.
He would know.
Okay.
He definitely would know.
Right here. And listen, this box is nice, family. It's a nice cardboard, nice box. And also, there's one thing I didn't mention inside. That's inside the box. It's kind of cool. So not only, you get the whole HAPI thing, but then we also have a little HAPI right there inside the box. So this is the makeup of the whole entire box. Yeah, Taki's like, he's like, a lot of answers are coming in, but they're incorrect.
Wow.
I know. Maybe we should give a hint. I don't even know what type of hint to give.
I mean, I can give a hint, but
I don't know. No. See, we didn't practice hints, so you can't give too much of a hint. You look like you might be a person that give too much hints. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be too, All right, Sonia Anthony says she checked the email. She's trying to get up and she's trying to have a HAPI cup.
Did you mention the discount also?
Okay. So no, I will tell you this. Yes, you get a. Let me tell you this. So Taki is telling me. He said, "Tell everybody they're looking in the wrong hemisphere. You guys are looking at the wrong hemisphere."
That's why I was about to say something, because most people are going to say one thing because they're paying attention to the word carnival.
Yeah. So you're looking in the wrong hemisphere. Yep.
That hint is deep.
Yeah. Paying attention to the word carnival.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. And yes, and the personal letter from all of us is really nice. Yeah, because we really, and family, I am going to take this moment just to say that we really, just thank you for riding with us. I say all the time that our HAPI viewers, our HAPI, all you guys that roll up on us at conferences, come with us and travel with us, or just like and share our stuff. Like, you are part of the HAPI movement, and this is how we're going to get this work done. So we were really, this is, something that all of us kind of sat down and just wanted to do, and just thanking the HAPI audience. So, yeah. All right, he got some more little dots. Okay, we may have to kind of keep it moving. I can't believe this, family.
I think so. We may.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, now, wait. We got a little hint. Okay. Taki is giving a hint, family. Look, Nawari's like, shout out to Taki. Yeah, shout out to Taki. So the hint is pyramid is the hint. Pyramid is the hint. Pyramid is the hint.
Yeah, this is a tough one because it's not spoken about much.
Yeah, too bad we can have Jabari on to tell us more little information. We're just gonna read the answer, but I mean, he always had like some more little information.
Yeah, for sure.
He's added to it. Yeah. So,
Sounds like y'all made this one too hard.
No, this one might be. Oh, I don't like it. It's too hard.
We should have went with your questions.
No, I'm not saying that. But
we should have had them answer all 4 questions as soon as, like, the first person answer all 4, the first person. Maybe that would be. And we just rapid fire, and then we take the questions off the screen. They had to just remember them.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Wow, nobody yet? That's crazy.
Yeah. And you know what, Dr. Paige, you have all these, like, the tribes. Oh my God. Like, that could have been really good questions. In fact, listen.
Yeah, I would never have done that because I would have thought it was too hard. That's why I'm saying you should have given us the direction.
No, so listen, no, it's not too late because we have 8 boxes left.
Yeah,
So send us, make sure you send the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Send the answer, and send us a really good question about all the different tribes in Africa, something. So I don't know what it
should Dr. Paige, should we even be saying tribe, or should we be saying ethnic
we
group?
say ethnic group.
Okay.
Ethnic groups. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So you should, if you could, send a couple questions for us. That would be fire. So we're going to let me see. We're going to just rock out. Oh, whoa, we got a winner. Yay! Okay, I'm waiting for Taki to tell me who the winner is.
All right.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, so let me okay, we're gonna bring up the winner as soon as he sends this over to me, which is, and then we're gonna put up the answer. Okay. All right. Okay.
I feel like I'm on pins and needles. Like I can't wait for the answer.
God, I love this. This is so much fun. Okay, wait, where's the answer at? Okay, so this is the okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the person's name, and I might have a hard time maybe pronouncing it, but we're gonna give it a try. Okay, we're gonna put this up. Let's make a banner with this person's name. So you know what? Thank you, family, for participating. That's cool. Okay, but this is the winner.
Kumbukeni.
Kumbukini won.
Nice.
What's up?
What was the answer?
And the answer is okay, we're gonna put the answer up. Somebody is in the chat that just shared the answer.
Oh, okay.
Right there. The Opet Festival. That is the answer.
Yes.
From where?
Kemet.
Ah.
Yeah. Who knew? I didn't know. Did you? I mean, listen, when I read Jabari's question, I didn't get this answer. Yeah, I was probably in the wrong hemisphere like everybody else. Yeah, that's what's up. Okay, wait, say the name one more time for me, Dr. Paige.
I see Kumbukeni.
Kumbukini. Okay, Kumbukini, I need for you to make sure that you send your address and your phone number and your t-shirt size. And this is the other thing that I forgot to tell people. So if you win the box, you have to actually take a picture with the box and send it to me so I can post it. Okay, that's very, very important. So yeah, congratulations. And you know what? I love the love that everybody's given the winner in there. Like that's cool. That's what's up. That's cool. Okay. All right. So Dr. Paige, I want to thank you again for coming on the HAPI Talks.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time.
Yeah. Like you're a fun time. We want to do a little reveal. As long as my stuff is 99.9% black. We can do a little if it ain't, we just not go.
They don't go by percentages.
Well,
sorry. Okay.
We also don't reveal non-African results, like without the person's permission.
Okay. I would never blindside you. Oh my God. I would just be like, what happened? She just passed out. She just passed out. But thank you. Do you have any closing words you want to say?
Oh man, I wasn't prepared for closing words, but I do encourage everyone to think about tracing your DNA and finding your roots with African ancestry. And then you never know, like when you go to Ghana with HAPI, you might be going home.
True indeed.
When you go to Togo, you might be going home. There's nothing like going to the motherland when you know where you're from in the motherland.
Yes. Yes. Good closing words. Very good.
I know, yeah. I know we got to get our on. We got to get it.
Definitely. Well, we appreciate your energy. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming through. And we'll stay in touch.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you much.
Peace. All right, fam. So listen, don't go nowhere because we got our man. This is our melanin man. That's what maybe we should call him, the melanin man. I like the melanin man. Like that's what's up. Because we got the history man, Robin Walker.
Robin Walker.
He calls himself the Black History Man. Why can't he be the melanin man? And it's melanin man more. Like, come on. Like that's all. You know what? There it is. All right, we're gonna bring in the Melanin Man more. Okay.
Happy
Yes.
family.
Peace.
And
Hey,
Miss
Molly. Hi,
how you
Molly.
doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Can you pronounce your last name?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Mhm.
Kentucky.
Got it. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
what's up, brother? What we got going on?
Oh, that was a beautiful interview. I wish you had kept Dr. Paige on. We could have had a good discussion. That would have been nice.
Yeah, we got to start co-mingling, y'all.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I know Rick Kittles from back in the day. I know him during the time of Amos Wilson being around.
Oh,
Rick Kittles
wow.
was doing a little melanin piece, and he's traveled the world. He's now, I think, down at Morehouse School of Medicine, the vice president of research. But the fact that he worked with her, and I knew that his work, and then so just the whole overlap of all our scientists, that was beautiful.
Oh, you know what? See, why did you text us?
Well, I was trying to get that answer to that the carnival.
Did you know the answer? Did y'all know the answer?
Well, in Brazil, Auntie Ciata, a black woman, is the reason why they got that carnival in Brazil. So I thought you were going to say Auntie Ciata. Ciata.
Yeah.
Ciata.
Okay, so that was so Jabari gave us all these questions, family. So Jabari gave us these questions, and he also gave us multiple choice, right? And we were like, no, that'd be too easy if we give a multiple choice. But that was actually one of the answers on the multiple choice.
Okay.
So we took out all the multiple choice. It was just like, you got to answer it. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the beauty of what you all just laid out with Dr. Paige, with the ancestry and the genes. I mean, we have this conference, Mara and I and our brother Ben Figueroa, called Blueprint for Pigment Power. So when we talk about pigment, hey, that's the DNA, that's the genes. So there's something that has kept us together, connected worldwide, and definitely is the melanin. So when you said the Melanin Man, Muta Baruka has a song called Melanin Man. So you can't play that because of copyright issues, right? But check out Muta Baruka. He has a song called Melanin Man.
Wow. Okay, I am. See, that needs to be your theme song.
But we got to make one up, though. Like I said, we can't use somebody else's.
I know we gotta. Somebody got to come out and do some little something with that.
So how this all went down is that I had written the books on melanin. So Molly and Ben came on down to Atlanta to do some more research on the background of the science and what I was doing, and it became enamored with the work. And I said, you know what? I was thinking about doing a conference called Blueprint for Pigment Power. They said, well, let's just do it. That means we got to do it. Here we are in Black History Month. Coming up next month, we are going to hold a conference that is going to really tie in the things you just said with Dr. Paige about where are we? We're a world historical people. We're all over the world. And so if we don't understand that, we don't have an identity, we become confused. I got a chance to go to Kemet with Yasir Rahotep and actually met Jabari Uzazi and Anika there the time that I traveled there. So just that opportunity to know your history and your culture, it changes everything. So our conference is about providing people with an understanding of their history. It's not just about melanin, but it's also about the trying to create some financial independence, think about self-defense. Of course, education's in there. We want to geopoliticize our agenda. It's not just us here in America. We have to look at how we are working globally. So I'll give you the agenda, but if you have some questions, because we've already been on your program, we really appreciate you providing us this opportunity. But if there's any other questions you have before I lay out the agenda, you can ask that.
Yeah, okay. I actually want to get to the agenda because I think the agenda is very important when people hear.
Okay. So the 2-day agenda. So we have actual.
You have it up on your computer?
I can try to do that.
Okay.
Make it fancy. Well, we tried this before. I hope. All right, Molly, you want to go ahead while I play around with the computer? You want to give some comments? I'm going to try to find this on my computer.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up your website. For some reason, I think I'm misspelling Ubuntu El Returno. Right?
It's on the screen. I know it's a bit hard to pronounce El Retorno, but Ubuntu, it's like very common. So it's very familiar with us. And El Retorno is just the one that the words that might get you. But that's the thing that we have to learn, not just the English side, but also get acquainted to the languages of our other brothers and sisters so that we can begin to start relating to them.
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, for too long we've been separated. And I
Yes.
think that, like we say, this is the time, and the time is now for us to
Mm-hmm.
be able to begin to unite globally. And we were united once
Mm-hmm.
before, and we need to bring back all those memories and recuperate and remember, who we were since back then, when we covered the globe. And now it's like we need to bring ourselves back together again.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I
So,
agree.
so I just shared my screen. Did you all see the image
Nope.
right there?
Okay, there it goes. It
So
looks. It looks like
can you see that?
it's kind of. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
All right. So for day one, and stop me if you don't see something because I scrolled last time and you guys didn't see my PowerPoint. But day one, we'll have an opening that I'll give, but we're going to introduce Tony Browder. You know, you've had him on the program. You said you've traveled to Kemet with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a new book out. And so he'll be presenting on a 50-year journey to enlightenment. So he is also going to be lecturing down in Atlanta at Madu Bookstore. So he'll lead that off, and then we'll have a wisdom panel because we were going to have it with Dr. Finch on that Saturday, but you know our elder has passed on, and may his soul rest now in paradise.
Yes.
But Dr. Finch was going to be on this panel with Tony Browder and Hunter Adams. Hunter Adams, a strong African-centered neuroscientist, astrophysicist. Wasn't for him, we wouldn't know a lot about the Dogon and how they knew about the Sirius star system. So we'll have he and Tony discussing some things in the morning with a comrade named Niana Rossian to do the moderating. Got to deal with the law, politics, and where we're at. We got a brother named Mawuli Davis, who works with Derek Bozeman here in Atlanta. Civil rights all-stars. I mean, these brothers, they just take care of business to help us out for having a united fund for some of these political issues that we're facing in politics. A brother named Kazemde Ajamu, he actually has a bookstore called Akomo Coffee and Books. He moved to a location that's also black owned. So this conference now is going to be at the new Black Wall Street, black owned, black businesses, black vendors. So we're spending money with black people. So the beauty of, like I said, not going to Dubai or some France or somewhere else where it's not us, we're going to a place that is occupied by us. So we'll have Brother Jambu talk about his experience as a business person and where we need to be with creating opportunities for others. We'll have Brother Kenya Stokes is a captain, been captain about 37 years, talk to us about situational awareness and survival in a hostile environment. We can't be walking around like nothing's going to happen. We need to be prepared if we ever have to, defend ourselves in a certain way. In the day with financial platforms, we're talking about platforms that we sometimes don't think about that could be very advantageous to us. We're here using StreamYard. Some people use Zoom. Well, do we control StreamYard? Do we control Zoom? So we're going to have a brother named Philip Springer and Kingsley Agba, who are part of the Sovereign Indigenous Peoples Alliance. They've created some programs like Meetup to not use Zoom. They created programs like ClipBus to not use YouTube. They created ChatVibe to cancel out WhatsApp. So we need to create our own venues because if they shut it down, we're in trouble. So we need to have our own venues. So we'll talk about that from a financial level. A sister named Sana Bosquet will talk about this deeds program, how we can now put money aside and start using it for us, almost like in a pot, but on a financial level, or maybe dealing with some cryptocurrencies and things that we need to be more aware of. Now, in the evening, we're going to have an event where we honor the Grand Masters, the living legends. And again, one of them was Dr. Charles Finch.
Yeah.
But the list of them are Nia Damali. She's the owner of the Madu Bookstore. She's been there for 35 years. And guess what? She's now retiring. If a bookstore goes in your community, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
The lectures, the information. So we're going to honor her for her service that she's put in for the years. She's actually wrote a book with Asa Hilliard and I think Omari Obadeli, dealing with ancient Africa. So she's an author, also the author rather than just a bookstore owner. All right, Tony Browder, an elder. Ann Brown, elder. Ann Brown wrote Why Darkness Matters, along with myself and Bruce Bynum. So she's now retired from Medgar Evers College. You can look at it on YouTube and see how powerful she is as an anatomist to talk about melanin. Kaba Kamene, also from New York, educational historian. He does it all, from the
Kama's
Moors to
coming
the
down there
Melanin.
too. Okay.
Well, he's being honored. So he's going to try his best to zoom on in and be there for a video stream. But, he's an elder. We got to honor his work. He wrote a book called Carbon from Melanin. So he's on the topic of the discussion. Just talked about Hannah Adams, just talked about Charles Finch, and then we got Jewel Pookrum. She's been around for a long time and has not been honored like we should be honoring our elders. So she'll be present. She's there in Atlanta right now. Bruce Bynum, African Unconscious, Dark Light Conscious. I mean, this brother is, as a clinical psychologist, moved us to another level of thinking about melanin at the level of the mind. So definitely honor him. And then Carol Barnes, who started off this discussion decades ago, interviews with Listervelt Middleton on For the People. So he'll be also honored as, again, one of the game changers in this topic on melanin. So we don't honor people enough. We wait till they're gone. So we want to give them their flowers now.
Yeah.
Day 2, we're just going to go ahead and start off with Hunter Adams, diving deep in the brain's dark energy sea. Again, when you hear Hunter talk, you hear him present information. It's like, where is this brother getting all this from? So he's definitely I call him an African-centered melanologist. And then brother KT, arts degree, he has some roots to Dr. Sabi. So for him, he's on another level of pushing knowledge about health and nutrition. He calls himself a terrain assessment specialist. So he's going to talk about from the mustard seed to living temple, melanin as the gate between field, biology, and coherence. So we're going to break all the science down because I'll talk after that. I had a sister that does some real good work in Alabama. She's working on African hair for science projects, but she didn't feel comfortable with her data yet. So I'll fill in for her and talk about melanin, the cosmic molecule that binds the elements of life. Just returned from Grenada, and Grenada's got the spices. They got everything. Talking about the nutmeg, talking about the soursop, the bay leaves. So the opportunity to, how do you use that and understand the science behind it and the pigments that are involved in keeping us healthy? Throw it down with the Education for Liberation panel. We'll have Chike Kua, who's also been on your program, Wakesa Majamoa, and have this moderated by Dr. Larry Miles, who I actually served on his dissertation committee when he was working on that years ago. And then we'll have a conscious media discussion. You guys are in the media. HAPI is at the forefront. People are now learning about life, the world, history from you all. So we need to have conscious media. So I'm going to have a brother Akhenaten Amara Salam Bey from WRFG give his breakdown on how we need to not be manipulated by the media. And then Kalanji Jamachanga, I'm not sure if you've been familiar with his work, but he helped start Black Power Media. He has his own platform. He's interviewed Mumembu Jamal, many scholars from even talked about the brother just passed, Jamil Al-Amin. So we're going to have him break things down from a conscious perspective. And then we'll have geopolitics and outreach, as we have Molly and Ben. So Molly Kentucky and Ben Figueroa are basically the other parts of this tag team. They're the reason why we are trying to expand this to other languages, not just English, but Spanish, Portuguese, French. So we're going to have a platform that can actually translate the words into the other languages as we are actually speaking. So that's going to be something that could be potentially used for our conference. And then for the evening, we're going to have Musiki Scales, the Common Ground Collective. I'm not sure if you know who Musiki Scales is, but he's a African-centered historian, musician. And so for him and his group, they break it down to give us a sense of, what do you call it? Our culture and history, Afrobeat, hip hop, New Orleans jazz. So go ahead and Google Musiki Scales. We're going to throw down with a nice celebration at the evening. So got a fun time.
Okay. And you're going to have vendors there, and there's free food?
Free food? Well, if you're paying for the evening events, yes.
Oh, okay. No. Somebody in the chat was like, free food for the public. I was like, okay.
No, unfortunately, because the venue's got to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
So the new Black Wall Street was created by a brother named Bill Allen. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2024. So the venue actually is an old Target. Okay. Old Target. That means a large facility. They have streets in their name like Greenwood, after the streets that are there in Black Wall Street. So there's vendors that are already there. There's food that's going to be available is there. But for the evening events, again, your ticket will take care of your evening purchases. And then the vendors are there, and that's the point about bring an open suitcase, empty suitcase, so you can
Yeah,
spend money with the people who are
Yeah.
by us for us,
for
and that's
sure.
what it's all about.
Yeah.
What's the weather like down there right now?
Right now, the
You guys are impacted by this little cold freeze?
yeah, on the east side of Atlanta, where the conference will be at Stonecrest and Lithonia, it's rain has come down, so of course it's going to be cold tonight. It's going to be ice conditions, so things are shut down. School probably won't be held tomorrow, Monday,
Okay.
but by the time we have the conference, things will be warmed up.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. All them black people in one little spot, it's gonna be like fire.
Yeah, yeah.
And guess who's rolling down there?
Hassan.
I know. So Hassan's gonna be in the house, family. So
Yeah.
listen, all you ATL cats coming down, make sure you give Hassan a shout out. I can't wait to see pictures and hear about this. And maybe Hassan will go on live a couple of times, and so we can,
That'd be
like
interesting.
That
broadcast.
would be interesting.
Yeah, like some interviews behind the thing. Yeah, this is nice.
So we got to be creative. Like I said, you've changed your platform over the years and done different things, and that's the first time you had Dr. Paige on your program.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
First time you had me on the end of last year. So you guys are expanding and bringing people together. And I think again, what you're doing, you're being creative as you are, reaching the world. So much power. Like I said, even y'all going to Togo, going to Egypt, going to Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like God, there's so many names I can give you, Dr. Moore. I like the Melanin Man more. I like that. But you're like the cultural, like your pop culture sense is so dope. Like I just can't explain it. It's really cool.
Well, product of the HBCU experience, So basically, I know our roots and our culture. And then, like you said, traveling to Africa. I've been to Morocco. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Ghana. Been to Nigeria, South Africa. I haven't been to Central Africa, like those central countries. But y'all saw just what happened in the AFCON soccer tournament. How ugly the Moroccans treated those Senegalese players.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why we say blueprint for pigment power. We have to work on us, not worry about other people.
True indeed.
I like that. Work on us. Don't worry about other people. Yeah, that's what's up.
Molly, did you want to add to that, Molly?
Well, for us, by us. So
Yes.
That's the main purpose. And like I was saying earlier, it's not just about the United States, and it's about everywhere else. And we must come together as one, melanated people, because that's the only thing that's going to unite us this time.
Yeah.
When we talk about culture, when we talk about languages, it's like we see what's happening especially with the Latinos, but hardly people today know the history of the Latinos in the United States. And for example, back in the early 50s, they forced the Latinos, the Mexican Latinos in the West, to speak only English. And when they went to school, they were I don't know how they used to force them to speak English and not Spanish.
Yeah.
And so if they spoke Spanish, or if they heard them speaking Spanish, they would get punished.
Yeah.
And so the children grew up scared from the language, from the Spanish language. And so you have now generations of fear of speaking their native tongue.
Wow.
And so there's so many stories that are not told because it's not convenient.
Yeah.
This is not the first time that they have been deporting Latinos in the United States. It has happened more than 2 times throughout the years. And so those of us that know that history, doesn't surprise us that they are deporting, like they say, illegal aliens or immigrants. So a lot of us are getting confused because Nowadays, they're talking about brown people. So what is brown people? So it just, lets us know that there's other people out there that are melanated, that and are also being persecuted. And where do they come from? What's their history? What's their story?
Yeah.
So if you go to the Caribbean countries, it's cheaper to fly from the island of the Dominican Republic to Europe than to go to any of the Caribbean countries.
Wow.
So the melanated people are the ones that are on the bottom of the stairs. So we are economically completely erased,
Mhm.
and so we can't even go to those other countries, that in the Caribbeans, for example, that are melanin dominant. We can't go to Martinique. We can't go to Jamaica. We can't go because the tickets are so expensive, and our people cannot afford it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the ways that they have used for years to separate us,
Yeah.
because we tried once to unite. Once the United States began to take power on this part of the globe back in the 1800s, our people in the Caribbean acknowledged what was happening.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we have to do something. We have to come together. And so Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, St. Thomas, they came together and said, we need to create a bloc. And since that time that they tried to create a bloc so that the imperial US will not come down just like the Europeans did,
Mhm.
they were just getting rid of the colonization from Europe, and now they're coming. The U.S. is coming. So
Yeah.
back then, they said, no, we can't take it. And so that's when you have also the Monroe Doctrine. So there's a lot of history that we don't know that have been used and still being used today to keep us divided.
So
Yeah.
you know what? Listen, let me tell you. We said this last time, little Miss Molly. You're gonna come back on, okay? After this conference, you're gonna come back on, and we need to have a much longer, deeper conversation about this. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, we want to continue this relationship, and we really want to, like sit down and have a because this is history we can't rush. And I think that this is beneficial for all of our people that's listening, so that we can start to see how because we just flippantly say, oh, we need to all work together, or they're trying to keep it, but we really got to understand the intricacies of this history. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pick a date.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna pick a date. I'm going to because we have your email address. I'm gonna reach out to you, but you first of all, right now you can't think because you have a whole conference coming up. So after the conference, I'm gonna give you 1 week to get your mind right, and then I'm gonna reach out to you. Okay, and we're gonna set up a date, and you're gonna come back and talk with us.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need to get this in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dr.
Well,
Moore,
look,
you
thank-
got an open door right here with us.
Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing the agenda in detail, because I think that was very important for people to know exactly what was going to be taking place and how powerful this conference is going to be.
I'm trying our best to make it, convenient for the people, because we'll have the live stream on the day,
Yeah.
so you'll know those that can't make it, because again, travel is a challenge. And then for the evening time, again, those will be live events. Those probably won't be streamed, but just in terms of the community, at least hearing the workshops and the presentations of some of these foundational scholars
Yeah.
will be important.
Yeah, and so I put the link, the actual Eventbrite link, in the chat, family. So all you have to do is just click onto it and go click and just get your ticket. Like, yeah, this is, you know, this is all about supporting us, and it's great because, you know, this is post-COVID. We're out here in these streets now doing live events, and we as a family, we have to support each other, and this is a really good one. I wish I could get down there. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm in the D.
Oh
It's
yeah,
cold in the
you
D.
doing some work. You doing some work anyway. You'll be traveling later in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just take yourself. I saw you
Yeah.
coughing over there, so
Oh my
gotta
God.
take it at health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold in the D. Y'all don't know nothing about that song. That's an old Detroit song. Just look it up on YouTube, family.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we're done.
Yeah.
So we're going to close off the show. But listen, good luck with your conference. I know it's going to be fabulous. I can't wait to touch base with Hassan and see everything.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
7.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
February 6th and 7th. I put that up one time, and it's also hit the link, family, and get your tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no excuse. We got live stream, and there's some live events, but there's live stream, so you can see these the conferences, or not the conferences. What the word I'm
Just
looking for?
presentations,
Webinar,
workshops.
conversations. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. All right. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
family. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I like they're so nice.
Yeah.
All right, Hassan. So
Another good show. Another good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, family. So just remember that we are going, I was about to say going on tour, but family, we have a trip planned. This is the time. Put your $300 down to secure your spot so that you are, so that you have the spot with the good
That
price.
price to secure that price.
Yep, so right
Yeah.
there. And we hitting 3 places: Ghana, Togo, and Egypt. It's all inclusive. The only thing you have to pay for is your visas, and your and beverages, and yeah, that's it.
This perfect for somebody that's never been to the continent because they're hitting 3 countries
Exactly.
one time.
Yeah, I mean, we about to get it in.
Yeah.
Okay, we about to get it in, and you can go to iCatTours.com. It's you can hit any of our. I mean, this meme is everywhere. Any of our pages, you can leave a comment any place, and we'll get back to you. But that's the website iCatTours.com. And again, this was founded by Taki Grant, and he started this tour company in the 1900s, which means he has lots of experience. We have lots of experience doing this. We've taken hundreds, or I think we're like thousands now of people to Africa, different places. But this particular trip, it's going to be fire because we're going to 3 spots. Okay, right there.
For sure. All right, happy family. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all share. I hope y'all subscribe. I hope y'all click the notifications. I hope y'all got something that y'all can apply to your life, to your worldview. And we see y'all on the next show. All right. Peace. Stay happy.
Economics and politics are the foundation of human development.
While forming the world's earliest civilizations, Africans also laid the groundwork for the creation of economic systems.
By learning from our history, we gain the strength to empower the present and design the future. Presenting the premier forum for truth, culture, and change. HAPI Talks. Join us as we unlock the secrets to our success.